There's already been several leaks for FIFA 23, and we're really close to news being confirmed. But before all the big events do kick off, I wanted to go through some of the biggest leaks that we've had so far and go through why they're such a big deal. But before we do get into the video, if you're looking to get some very easy coins for FIFA 22, then there is no better place than Mule Factory. Head over there to get yourself some cheap, fast FIFA 22 coins, completely reliable, and if you use Fnatic 5 at checkout, you'll also get yourself a 5% discount. Link can be found in the description down below. Getting back into the video, as things currently stand for FIFA 23, nothing has been confirmed by EA. We have had some confirmation for what would be the game after FIFA 23, as it's no longer going to be called FIFA 24 because name and rights have changed. Instead, it will be called EA Sports FC. And that's going to take some time getting used to, but we do have a year until that happens. As for FUT 23, nothing has been confirmed, as all the events will be kicking off at some point this month and next month, where everything will be revealed. But before that happens, let's actually go through some of the big leaks so far and why they're such a big deal. So firstly, we will have cross-platform coming to Ultimate Team. This is something that EA are already putting into FIFA 22 and have been testing for the last couple of months. Cross-platform is now an option that you can either turn on or off within your FIFA 22 settings. And as EA are testing this now, it's likely, if these tests are successful, that it will be pushed out to more game modes within FIFA 23, which could potentially mean Ultimate Team. This is a change that players have been wanting for a very long time, and it can be a very good change if done correctly. Typically, out of the three main platforms being PC, Xbox, and PlayStation is by far the most popular, and we can tell this just by looking at the live transfers. Live transfers can lead to there being millions all at the exact same time, whereas Xbox is not even hitting 1 million and PC, they're really struggling just to get over a couple 100,000. This does mean when it comes to trading or buying players, building teams, whatever it is, looking for players, you have much more of an option on the PlayStation market, whereas with Xbox, it's much slower. You're not able to win as many trades in the exact same time frame as what you would be able to do on PlayStation, and it can lead to some players being extinct, whereas once you compare it to PC, Xbox is actually doing very well compared to PC. PC players pretty much have a completely different game, where there is hardly any players on the transfer market compared to the other platforms. Means that there is less choice in players that are currently there. If you do try to trade with them, you would need to wait even longer for that player to be expired, and also leads to there being a much higher chance of players being extinct. Having one whole market where players can be traded between PC to PlayStation, PlayStation to Xbox, Xbox to PC, and all of the other options, it does make things a lot better. For those playing on PlayStation, it's not as big of a deal because they've already got the majority of the transfer market. There's already a lot there, but it will be a big deal for those playing on Xbox and also PC. Not just looking at the transfer market, once you look at games, it also opens up to more competition. Depending on the location that you play and also the platform that you play on, there are certain times during the year where you're limited on the types of players that you will be able to play against. You may go into an online game for draft, FUT champions, division rivals, whatever it is. Maybe you don't even want to go into those game modes and you do just want to go into friendlies. Depending on who's in that location looking for a game at the exact same time, you may not come up against anyone. You might have to wait there for quite some time for you to actually find an opponent. And even if you are in a situation where you can find games, you may be able to get to the likes of Division 1 or even some of the elite divisions, and you may just come up against the exact same players over and over again. With cross-platform, it does make this slightly easier. It's slightly easier for you to find games because you're no longer just finding players on the exact same platform as yours. This could be a big deal. The next big change that has been leaked is the chemistry changes. Right now, for you to go through Ultimate Team and build your Ultimate Team, you need to take into consideration chemistry. You may want to have a Ronaldo and an Mbappe up front, but you also need to make sure that you're getting the correct links around those players for them to reach their maximum potential. Because if you just throw any player into the team just to build your ultimate team as they have a high rating, if they don't link, they're going to have a negative effect because the chemistry is going to be a lot lower. With the leaks for FIFA 23, chemistry is still part of the game, it's just had a complete rework. So you will be allowed to have players of any league or any nationality linked together. And it will be changing from a 100 chemistry system into a stars system, with every team being able to earn up to 3 stars instead of that 100 chemistry that we just mentioned. Now, with this information, it is still limited, so we don't know exactly how this is going to work. We don't know exactly what leads to a team having 3 stars. It could be based on ratings to lead to a 3-star where it is completely taken away at the chemistry and also the rating itself, or it could just be a 3-star chemistry system which is on top of your team rating, and how you actually get those 3 stars no one knows. But so far from the leaks that we've had, it does mean that you will be able to link any player with any league or any nationality. And this is big because it opens the door for you to create a variety of different teams. Admittedly, it takes some unique selling points from some players, such as hero cards, which can link to anyone with a strong link as long as they have the same nationality and league, and has an orange link to anyone with the same league or nationality. And of course, we can't forget about icons, which have links to everyone. For those types of players, it no longer matters, but of course, you will just use those players not for their chemistry, but because of their rating, and it's a good player that you want to use in game. It's not just the chemistry changes that have also been leaked, there's also been a position change overhaul. Right now, for a player to get maximum chemistry and play at their very best, you need them to be in the right position for that formation. And this is somewhat limited, and this limitation has never really made sense. You can take a center defensive mid player and use position modifiers to convert them all the way up to a striker, but you can't convert a center back to a CDM. What players have been begging for since probably the beginning of Ultimate Team was position modifiers, which can allow you to change any player into any position. If you did want to go and change a center back into a goalkeeper, you can do so because it's your choice. There's position modifiers to do that. If you want to change a right back to a left back, you can do so. A right mid to a left wing, you can go and do that. A striker down all the way to be a right back, it's your choice. You can build your ultimate team. If you think a player would be good in that position, you just need to buy and use the coins to put into these position modifiers to change. But with FIFA 23, with the leaks that we've had, it seems like there will be none of these position modifiers. Instead, every player will have a primary position, and most of them will also have a secondary position. This depends how they play within real life. If there's a player that's most likely playing as a right mid, they're going to have that primary position as a right mid player. But if there's also been times where that player has played as a centre back just in the final 10-15 minutes as a secondary position, that would be listed as the secondary position in game. Of course, we do still have limited information, so actually matching this up with our chemistry point that we mentioned earlier, if we was to look at Messi, who is by default a right wing, we can also assume that his secondary position is going to be within the center. With the 3-star chemistry change, if chemistry isn't as big of a deal, what is the consequence of just taking Messi and playing him as a left wing? These are the questions that don't currently have answers at the time of recording this video, but hopefully once it does come around to the events, if this is actually the change that will be happening within FIFA 23, hopefully we will be able to find out exactly how all of this works. But based on the information that we've had so far, these are changes that players are open to. They would like to see because it can change up the game massively for the types of teams that you can build. And the final change that we're going to be talking about within this video is the leaks that Ultimate Team will be free to play. In a report from December 2021, which was talking about the yearly revenue that EA managed to make from Ultimate Team in 2020, it was reported that EA made $1.6 billion, which is equivalent to 1.1 billion pounds. This isn't just for FIFA Ultimate Team, it's for all of their game modes which contain Ultimate Team. And we all know that the way that they do this is through the likes of packs, different types of pack openings that you can do within these games. That type of revenue is absolutely ridiculous, especially considering that's just from Ultimate Team. For you to have access to Ultimate Team, you also have a full purchase game, which also has a number of different editions that get released every year, and there's also the EA Access subscription on top. Ultimate Team by itself is a massive money maker. And I think we've reached a point in where it is limited on how much money it can make because of that barrier to entry of people having to buy the game to then get into Ultimate Team to then buy into FIFA points. If they remove that first initial barrier where you do have to go and pay for the game to have access to Ultimate Team and it's free to go into Ultimate Team, EA are still likely to make around 1.1 billion every single year off the Ultimate Team game modes. But it also brings in a lot more opportunity because that initial barrier to entry is a lot lower, so there should be a lot more players playing the game. That doesn't mean that they're going to be paying thousands per year, but there may be a point in where someone wants to test their luck and they might put 10, 20, 30 quid in just to see what they can get. The more people that do this, the more money EA makes, and there's the incentive. As for actual benefits to players, it does mean that there should be a lot more players playing. And that also links back to the whole cross-platform conversation that we did have earlier. There's more people playing, it brings in more opportunity, a better transfer market for you to trade, to buy players, less players being extinct, and also better in-game. You will hopefully be able to find matches a lot quicker, and you'll be coming up against players that hopefully you haven't played against before. Anyway guys, here are just some of the leaks that we've had so far with FIFA 23. None of them are confirmed, but just based off the leaks and what's happened so far, we can definitely see the benefits and how these are all massive game changes. Now we're just waiting for EA to confirm some of these features. If not, hopefully all of them. Let me know in the comment section down below some of your thoughts based off the features and the changes that we've mentioned within this video. Anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see ya.